Good morning. This is Professor Anderson with a little bit of feedback for your writing assignment number 4, the rough draft. I apologize for this being so late. On the 9th and the 10th, my internet stability was not very good. Unfortunately, I was in buildings and structures that did not have very good Wi-Fi and or stability. So I apologize for this being late. Let me just give you a quick amount of feedback here. I'm going to go through the nuts and bolts, the components, and then what I like to do, I'll show you how I cut and paste and put products or your paper into my Google Drive, and I use what's called Grammarly. So I'll show you how that works. So the first thing, if I'm looking through the nuts and bolts, I'm looking for title page, executive summary, table of contents, all of those things. So if I scroll through here, I have that. Letter to a decision maker, the table of contents, executive summary, the body of the paper with an introduction to the thing, the purpose of why the study was done. So there's some more studies. Let's see where that primary research would be. Public relations, business partner, public relations, business partner, improve employee morale. And we're running through here. Here we go. Okay, so cut and paste that figure in. All right, and then some recommendations and a conclusion here, and here are some of your references. All right, so you have all the nuts and bolts. Now let's go through the nitty gritty, and I'll show you what I do. I need to change this. So my allows me to read it in rich text form or to put it into a Word document that I can then cut and paste and put into my Google Drive. So I'm sorry, I should have done this in advance so they didn't waste time on this. Here we go. So I'm just going to copy. And I'm going to skip the references because those I have to check elsewhere. Sorry for my dog there. And when I come into here, this is my writing folder. I'm going to create a new doc. I'm so sorry I'm taking so long for this. It may be 2 screencasts here, and I paste inside of Google Docs and cut paste. There we go. So what happens when I do this is that it automatically engages this product right here, which is called Grammarly. Now, Grammarly checks for a host of things. One of them is spelling. Another one is grammar. So it will show different things like this. It's saying, I'm not sure that that's a real word. It wants to correct it for you. What I like about this, and I like showing students this, is that it gives you also an opportunity to understand things like a quick spelling error, but it also shows you, you see, I saw in here some other grammar issues. So where the punctuation is put incorrectly, some others, other types of issues. So what I like showing students this because it not only gives you the error, but it explains why. And so it's actually a tool to be used that can, it helps you improve. So you understand the justification for the error, and then you can next, employ the correct application in your next note. So if we go through here, we want to have the same type of memo format. So you want to make sure you follow that template. We don't have memorandum at the top. You do have to from date and subject or reference line, RE. When you do a letter to a memo that's on top of a research-based report, the first page or the first line should, or actually the whole letter transmittal should be void of emotion. I liken a letter transmittal to a sales receipt. So say you had twins and one has one taste and the other has another taste, but they like the same store. So if you have 2 bags that are from the same store and they're products that you bought for the twins to, for their own likes or dislikes, are inside of it, and then you want to get a quick glimpse to make sure you know which bag goes to which twin, the sales receipt would easily give you an understanding of what's in the bag without going into a whole lot of detail. So I like to liken the letter transmittal to a sales receipt. And so the top should be, the first line should say, enclosed, please find the report, creating a corporate recycling program. It investigates implementation of a recycling program at Witt Brother Machines and incorporates the primary research you authorized on, and then include the date of the memo where you ask for permission to continue with your research. Then at the bottom, here, I would take out anything that says, reach out to me, ask me any questions, look forward to hearing from you. The reality of this is, no matter where you are on a spectrum or a pole within a company and organization, the true decision maker is usually 4 or 5 or 6 steps removed in the food chain from the person who did the research and who actually has hands-on understanding of the situation. And so that person is likely not going to contact you directly. They're going to should this be implemented, they'll farm it out to a committee and then a subcommittee and then maybe a subcommittee of that subcommittee. So it's always good to end these types of letters of transmittal with, thank you for your time and consideration. That's it. You don't need to actually sign sincerely because you did that up at the top. So you don't, there's no need for a signature on a letter of transmittal. It's a memo. So if I run through here, I'm going to flip back to this page just to make sure you have the right format. Yes, good. If I flip to your view, this is in the PDF rich text, you want to make sure if you upload this as a doc that you have your spacing correctly. And if you've done these individually and tried to align them, there is a tab at the top that's designed for table of contents. And I believe it's in format in Word. So when your executive summary, let's get down to the nitty gritty. You have all the nuts and bolts. We're going to get down to the nitty gritty. Inside of this executive summary, you want to state, first of all, the background. So our current recycling program includes, you have to show the problem itself. And I noticed it from your introduction. Here we go. There's a high volume of waste produced from employees and business practices without any guidelines or environmentally friendly practices involved. So the first thing you want to say is, at Witt Brothers, we produce a lot of trash. That's the first portion of it. Currently, recycling bins are housed within warehouse offices, but they're not utilized efficiently, period. Beginning a recycling program that incorporates A, B, C, and D will 1, 2, 3, and 4, and outline it that way. So you want to make sure that you describe if your title here is our current recycling problem, before you have the problem, you have to describe what it is that you do. So one of the 2 things that I would recommend is current recycling, take the word problem off and describe the recycling program. Problem. The problem is we're not doing it efficiently. Research shows X, Y, Z, and I noticed from your findings that you include a lot of local and regional laws that are mitigated or pertain to the particular recycling plan that your company takes. So then recommendations, and outline them, and make sure you have a slight introduction to the recommendations. So introduction for the background, again, explain the problem first, the background. When did it start? How long has it been? What is the current process? When did it start? How long has it been implemented? What are the successes that we've had? What are the gaps? And then I guess you do that. Okay, scratch what I just said, problems with the current situation. So you describe the background and you describe what you do, and then your problems with your current situation. So what I like about this is that you have outlined a host of very current, very time and place specific issues related to your problem. So that makes it very personal. What that does for a research-based report is it ties that your primary research is part of your research in general. This ends the first portion of your feedback. Oh, come on.